Morning, Commissioners, Madam Chair. I just want to take a couple minutes of your time to bring you up to speed on what's going on with some landslide properties that we've been monitoring since our rains back in May. The affected areas that we've been monitoring and been working with the City of Colorado Springs OEM is Broadmoor Bluffs, Broadmoor Hills, Broadmoor Oaks, Broadmoor Resort, and Skyway. So those are neighborhoods that we've been actively involved in working with property owners. So far to date in Broadmoor Bluffs, we got 12 single-family residences that have been impacted. One single-family residence has been condemned by the City of Colorado Springs for human occupancy. And right now, one of them is also pending. They just not have served the condemnation paperwork. And the total assessor actual value for 2015 on these properties is $7.2 million. Here's a little map that basically shows you what's going on, and where the impact area is. Here's where the landslides are coming, right on the backside here. In Broadmoor Hills, we found 4 single-family residences for the assessor actual value of $2.2 million. And here's those properties that are being impacted that we're monitoring right now. So as you see, we got several of them on Habersham and several of them there on Child Drive as well. In Broadmoor Oaks, there's one property for an actual value of $447,000, and that is this property right here where the backside of the house is falling down. Broadmoor Resort, there's 2 single-family residences there for an actual value of $1.2 million, and these are actually townhomes that are being affected where the landslide's coming down the hill right here. Skyway. There's 20 single-family residences there in Skyway that are impacted. There's one home that has been condemned. And right now, the 2015 assessor actual value on these 20 properties is $5.7 million. And this is basically right along here on Zodiac and Sun Drive. So a majority of all the properties there on Zodiac Drive are being affected. So in total, to date, there's 39 single-family residences for a total of $16.9 million. There's 2 condemned properties and 1 pending. So as you see there, one property is $697,000. The other one's $271,000 that has been condemned. What we're going to be looking at as far as from my staff is we're looking right now the properties as being destroyed, major, minor, or affected. And those are the categories that we're going with to take a look at these properties. To date, my office, myself, have been working with the City of Colorado Springs OEM department. We have sat down and had numerous meetings with one another. And my office is going to be mailing letters out to all affected property owners on January 4th, the morning of, requesting access to properties to do damage assessment. Some of these properties, you cannot see if there's damage from the outside. You have to get interior, so there could be cracks in the foundation, doors aren't closing, homes have moved. So we're basically asking these residents to contact our office and at their convenience, set up an appointment where we can go do an interior and exterior damage assessment, where I'm going to have my land manager and also my residential manager go out there and inspect these properties. I'm also going to be, I've gotten emails on every one of the affected property owners. I'm going to follow that up with emails to them, letting them know to contact our office. In addition, with the OEM, I've sided with them. We're going to do public meetings. So we're going to sit down, have town hall meetings with the residences out there. And the City of Colorado Springs is establishing a website where these owners can go and take a look what they can do basically to get into a buyout program and apply with the City of Colorado Springs and things like that. I did agree that I'm going to put that link on my website. So anybody from appraisers, brokers, agents, property owners, if they're on my website, as you know is heavily used, they can link to that as well. And we're going to be conducting on-site damage assessment, which we've been doing ongoing, but we're going to kick that off here next week as well, once we make appointments with the property owners. So that is it. I just wanted to bring you up to speed of what's going on, and we're going to be looking at sitting down with each one of those property owners and making damage assessments, making adjustments on those properties that are affected.
Commissioner, I appreciate your information. The reasons for the, I mean, are these long-term landslide, or is it just that we've had so much moisture? Do you know, and how widespread this is? Because I would hate to think that it would, it would impact property owners that are not impacted by the landslides in terms of their property values.
There's not a stigma on a neighborhood. These are individual properties, and that's how we're handling it from the assessor's point of view. You know, when you're up there in the Broadmoor area or Skyway, we're only talking about a select few properties, just in particular areas, not the whole entire neighborhood. And so this is something that is taken because of the rains in May and June and July that we received, which was no different if you remember what we had to handle in 1999 when we dealt with that. And we're following the same protocol that we did with the property owners in 1999 as well.
That was up off of Friendship Lane up on the west side.
And also Holland Park. If you remember,
That's
our
right,
county
yeah.
treasurer and his mom were affected by that.
Yep.
So, absolutely. But nope, this is each individual property. And, you know, we basically, it has not grown as far as the affected properties since probably August or September. So, this takes time. This isn't, you know, when we have dealt with the natural disasters that we have, such as Waldo Canyon and Black Forest, a landslide takes time and, you know, the cause and effects of that. So we've been monitoring these properties. I and my staff have already reached out to a majority of these property owners and been in contact with them. We've adjusted values on some of these properties already. But January 1st, as you know, is our assessment date for all assessors in the state of Colorado. That's why I went ahead, and as of January 4th, we're going to go out there and find out what is the status of the property on our assessment date.
When they're purchased, and I know that happened off of the Mesa when those homes, several homes actually were relocated to different property. Then it basically, you can never develop that land once they're purchased out. Yep. But they don't generally get a very high price for those properties either. And so I do know that I've talked to some of the residents up there, specifically in the Broadmoor Bluffs area, and there's a lot of concern about the land movement up there. I kind of wonder if it was construction fill or how that all happened. Broadmoor Bluffs has been known for a long time for soil movement, especially along Broadmoor Bluffs Drive. So I appreciate you keeping us up to date on that, and thank you for reaching out to me as the resident commissioner too, Steve.
And I'll, you know, come in periodically and keep you guys up to date of what's going on. But, you know, to me, it's important that our residents, our property owners know that we're here to serve them. And I think it's also important that they know that the city and the county are on the same page. You know, because basically it's the city that's leading this, but I'm out there for ad valorem purposes, and I've been in all the meetings. We're all on the same page of what we need to do for our property owners, and like I said, we're going to be out there to assist our property owners and do damage assessment, and I'll let you guys know what we come up with.
Thanks.
So I'm assuming that, you know, you or somebody, because we're going in and doing the assessed value of it for property tax purposes, is helping them work with insurance companies, et cetera. Is the builder being held liable for any of this, do you know, at this point in time, or?
Commissioner, I don't think so. You know, and that's a question some of these property owners have come up with, because one of the affected properties is now under newly construction. And they're sitting there, the question is, and rightfully so, is why is the city allowing this property to be built? Well, it was platted back in the 1950s.
Right.
So, you know, when that occurred, you know, they have that right to go ahead and build and things like that. But, you know, to answer that question, I don't think there's any liability. I'm not too sure, you know, as far as on a builder.
Hopefully, we'll see how the spring goes. It might make things a little more complicated, but you've done a great job. Thanks so much for being there for them.
Absolutely. Thanks, Commissioner.